Something in you has been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Not in the way you wait for an answer or for relief. In the way the body waits when it has learned that safety might never quite arrive. A low-grade suspension, a background hum that no amount of sleep, no amount of stillness, no amount of starting over in a new place or a new chapter has ever fully quieted. You function. You show up. You move through your days and do what is required. And yet, not all of you is there. Some portion of your awareness hovers just above the room you are standing in. Some essential weight that should be resting inside your physical form floats just beyond it, close enough that you mistake it for presence, far enough that you have always felt strangely approximate, like a version of yourself that is almost here. This is not a disorder, not a trauma response in the clinical sense, not a spiritual bypassing pattern, not something that more healing modalities will eventually resolve on their own. What you have been living with, sometimes for your entire life, sometimes as far back as your earliest memory, has a name in the Arcturian framework. It is called incomplete incarnation. And the Arcturian Council is transmitting today precisely because the energetic window for addressing this at its structural root is open right now, and it will not stay open indefinitely. Feel whatever surface is beneath you, the chair, the floor, the bed. Let the weight of your own body press into it. You are here, and you are about to become more fully here than you may have ever been. The Arcturian Council does not observe the mechanics of incarnation from a detached position. They have been monitoring the precise energetic architecture of starseed embodiment across thousands of incarnation cycles, tracking the specific conditions under which a soul's landing sequence can be interrupted, and measuring what that interruption costs the soul across an entire lifetime. They act with deliberate precision. What brought you here, what your field recognized and responded to before your conscious mind ever made a decision, was a signal. What the ordinary mind experiences as an algorithmic recommendation is, from the perspective of your higher self, a coordinated retrieval. The suspended portion of your field identified this frequency as the carrier it has been waiting for. And it drew you here. The specific energetic context matters. We are inside what the Arcturian Council calls a root saturation window, a period during which the Schumann resonance, the electromagnetic carrier frequency of the Earth herself, measured at 7.83 hertz, is operating at an elevated amplitude, unusual even within a high-activity solar phase. The Earth is calling unanchored fields home. Souls in partial incarnation are experiencing an intensification of that pull toward full embodiment. The discomfort has likely increased in recent weeks. The restlessness, the longing, the sense that something is trying to complete itself and you cannot name what it is. This transmission is built to work with that planetary pull. What you are about to receive is not a meditation in the ordinary sense. It is a structural completion. The story that begins here ends with an anchor reaching the ocean floor, and it ends today. Let me describe your life back to you. Tell me if what I say lands as recognition rather than concept. You have always felt, regardless of where you are, as though the room is slightly too loud and slightly too dense, as though you are attending your own life through a thin, almost imperceptible membrane that keeps the full weight of experience from registering completely. You participate, you engage, you are present by every external measure, and then you are alone, and there is the unmistakable feeling of having performed presence rather than inhabited it. You have difficulty feeling fully in your body, not in ways that interrupt your functioning. In small, daily ways you have normalized over time. Sensation comes slightly delayed. Pleasure rarely lands at its full depth. Even in your most centered moments, there is a residual floating, a background quality of not quite having settled into the ground of your own life. You live primarily in your head, more precisely, there because the head is the part of you that completed the descent. The lower body, hips, legs, feet especially, feels almost foreign at times, like borrowed architecture. You carry an exhaustion that sleep does not fix, the specific depletion of holding a gap together, part of your consciousness inside the body, part hovering just above it. The nervous system spending its reserves, ceaselessly attempting to bridge what should not need bridging. And there is this older thing, quieter than any of the above, a background hesitation at the level of incarnation itself. Not depression, not sadness about anything specific. Something that predates language and almost predates memory. The feeling that this life was agreed to, but never quite ratified. You have worked on these things, many of you extensively, over years. Somatic therapy, breath work, nervous system regulation, grounding practices, body work. Those things contributed to something real. The capacity for embodiment you have now, however partial it still feels, is greater than it was before that work. The efforts you have made across conventional and complementary healing have built something that this transmission now stands on. What those tools were not designed to reach is the mechanism beneath the symptoms. Because what you have been managing, what all of that work has been compensating around, is not a behavioral pattern alone. It is a structural configuration, the etheric body never completing its full descent into the physical vessel, the soul blueprint being installed only partially. Not because of anything you chose or failed to do, because the landing sequence was interrupted, either by the specific conditions of birth or by an early experience that communicated before you had language that full arrival in this world wasn't safe. This is the layer this transmission reaches, not the coping patterns built around the gap itself. If what I just described is landing somewhere beneath your thinking mind, in your chest, in your gut, in some quiet place that registers truth before your intellect can process it, go to the comments right now and type 888. The Arcturian Council is watching this activation field. 888 is the code of timeline convergence in the Arcturian numerical system, the frequency signature of completing what was interrupted, of a circuit finally closing. The moment you place it there, you signal to your own field that you are ready to receive what this transmission came to deliver. Here is what is actually occurring in your energetic architecture when incarnation is incomplete. The Arcturian system understands the human being as a 7-body system. The physical body is the densest layer. Immediately interpenetrating it is the etheric body, the precise geometric blueprint that the physical body continuously references as it regenerates. These two bodies are meant to be perfectly congruent, the etheric template seated into the physical form the way a hand fills a glove. During the incarnation sequence, the etheric body anchors first, seating itself into the physical vessel from the crown downward, filling every layer, then extending below the feet to lock into what the Arcturian Council calls the Earth Star Chakra. This is an energetic center, located approximately 30 centimeters below the soles of the feet, not inside the body, beneath it. The anchor point, where the etheric tether meets the planetary electromagnetic field and locks, completing the circuit between the individual field and the Earth's own electromagnetic body. When this sequence completes, the result is felt even at the physical level, a density, a settledness, a coherence that communicates without words. I am here. I chose this. I am rooted in this incarnation. When the sequence is interrupted, and the Arcturian Council observes that incomplete landing is extraordinarily common among starseed souls in this epoch. The etheric body descends only part way. The upper chakras are fully engaged, but the root, sacral, and solar plexus are only partially inhabited by the etheric template. And the Earth star, the deepest anchor point, never receives the tether. The physiological signature is measurable. Research on vagal tone and somatic coherence documents a consistent pattern in individuals with incomplete lower body inhabitation. The parasympathetic branch of the nervous system is chronically underactivated in the trunk and lower extremities. The body remains in low-level sympathetic arousal, not crisis, but a persistent readiness for departure, because the root signal that would tell it you have chosen to stay was never fully transmitted. The body is not malfunctioning. It is accurately reflecting an etheric reality. In the 12-strand energetic DNA template, the full-dimensional blueprint of which your physical double helix is only the densest expression, the root encoding sequences correspond directly to the lower 3 chakras and the Earth star below them. In a fully landed soul, these sequences are expressed. In incomplete incarnation, they remain dormant. Not because they are damaged, but because the anchor that would trigger their expression was never set. What this transmission carries is the activation frequency for those dormant root sequences. 528 hertz, the resonance associated with DNA repair and cellular realignment, is woven into this audio as a carrier, and the consciousness of black tourmaline is being embedded into the transmission field now. Its density, its magnetic pull toward the Earth, its function as the crystalline equivalent of an anchor point. If you have black tourmaline nearby, bring it into your hands. Feel how heavy it is. That heaviness is information. That is what the Earth star is supposed to feel like when it is locked. Before the activation sequence begins, I want to direct you towards something that extends what is about to happen. The 30-day Arcturian activation, the daily meditation and frequency journal from Arcturian Frequency, is in the description below this transmission and also pinned in the comments. For incomplete incarnation specifically, this is essential if you want what initiates today to hold. A single session can begin the landing sequence. What it cannot do alone is prevent the etheric body from drifting back into partial suspension during the days that follow, particularly in sleep state, when conscious anchoring relaxes. The 30-day activation gives you a structured morning grounding protocol and an evening sealing sequence that prevents that drift. Every copy purchased supports the continuation of these transmissions. Find it in the description. Find it pinned in the comments. Now close your eyes if you can, or let your gaze soften until the room diffuses gently at its edges. Bring your awareness to the very crown of your head. Feel, or simply intend, a column of light descending from above. Deep indigo at its outer rim, violet and white at its core, entering through the crown and moving into the center of your skull. This carries one specific directive: to locate what is suspended and bring it fully home. Let your awareness move slowly downward with the light, through the crown, into the third eye. Feel a softening here. The third eye in souls with incomplete incarnation is often extraordinarily active, because the upper field has been compensating for everything the lower field was not providing. You have been living in this center. You do not have to leave it. You are simply expanding downward from it now. The light reaches your throat. Breathe here once, and continue. Now the heart. Pause at the heart. This is the dimensional gateway in the Arcturian 12 chakra model, the crossing point between the upper field and the lower, between the dimensions you access above and the life you are living below. If you have rose quartz nearby, place it on your chest now. If not, place your own hand there. Feel the warmth. And from this center, send a single internal declaration, not out loud, not with effort, to the fragment that has been hovering. It is safe now. The world that made full arrival feel dangerous is not the world you are in anymore. You can finish the descent. Feel the light continue downward into the solar plexus. In souls with incomplete incarnation, this center carries a specific compression. The will was never given full permission to inhabit what it came here to do. Breathe into that space deliberately. Let it expand on the exhale, downward into the sacral center, 2 inches below the navel. In the incomplete incarnation configuration, this center often holds something that resembles grief. Not grief about anything specific, but a cellular mourning for the fullness of experience that was always possible and never quite arrived. Breathe here. Let that grief acknowledge itself without analysis. It is completing now. And into the root, the base of the spine. Let your awareness settle there and stay. If this center feels dim or barely present, that is not failure. That is the map showing you exactly where the completion is needed. Place your attention there deliberately. Something is beginning to warm. Something is responding. Now extend your awareness downward from the root, past the soles of your feet, through the floor, down into the earth, 30 centimeters below whatever surface you are resting on, to the Earth star. You may have never consciously visited this point before. That is all right. Simply intend your awareness there. Below you, in the earth. At the anchor point, the Arcturian field is present here, initiating a firm and gentle downward pull through your entire central channel, crown to root to Earth star, drawing the suspended fragment through the final portion of its descent. You may feel your body become heavier right now, a new weight settling into your hips, your thighs, your lower back, your feet making more complete contact with the ground. If your body just felt heavier, that is not fatigue. That is landing. Let it happen. The Earth star is locking now. The tether is extending from your root downward into the planetary grid. The loop that was left open at the beginning of this incarnation is closing. If something releases, a breath that goes deeper than expected, tears, a sound, a sudden and unfamiliar exhale, let it. That is the field recognizing its own completion. That is decades of hovering finally resolving into arrival. Take a breath. Now that is different from any breath before this point. Not because you chose it consciously, but because your body drew it on its own. That breath is information. The nervous system is registering that something fundamental in the root architecture has changed. What moved through this transmission was structural. The Arcturian Council initiated the locking of an Earth star anchor that has been open since the beginning of this incarnation. What was sealed is sealed. The tether was set. The fragment landed. In the 72 hours following this transmission, the physical body will process what just changed. You may feel heavier than you are accustomed to. Not the heaviness of exhaustion, the heaviness of substance, of arrival. You may notice sensation in the lower body that was not accessible before, warmth in the root, a new awareness of the soles of your feet, a quality of solidity in the hips and lower spine that feels unfamiliar, but not uncomfortable. That unfamiliarity is what full embodiment feels like in a field that has been partial for years. Your sleep may shift. The etheric integration process does significant work in sleep state, and a newly anchored field has access to frequencies the incomplete incarnation configuration was blocking. Let whatever surfaces in dreams move without forcing meaning onto it. Pay attention to images of return, to feelings of having arrived somewhere, to anything that carries the quality of completion. Drink water consistently. Spend time with bare feet on actual Earth when circumstances allow. The Schumann resonance is your amplifier right now. Your Earth star just connected to that grid. Physical contact with the Earth will support the stabilization of this anchoring as integration deepens. Receive this as a structural truth, not an affirmation. You are not broken, and you were never broken. You were running a full incarnation from a partially installed field, navigating an entire life with an anchor that had never been set, doing extraordinary things with incomplete architecture. That is over. The architecture is complete. You are here, not approximately, not provisionally, not hovering above your own life with one foot still suspended between dimensions. Here, in this body, in this time. Fully. Let that be real. The next transmission in this sequence addresses what becomes possible and what becomes urgent once the landing is complete. Because when a starseed soul arrives fully in the body for the first time, the night changes. Many of you are already waking at specific hours. 3 in the morning, 4:17, a time that repeats with a precision your conscious mind cannot explain. That is not insomnia. It is the beginning of a conversation. The Arcturian Council communicates through sleep state transmissions, and those specific waking hours are signals that contact is being attempted. That transmission decodes those nighttime windows, but it is not available yet. What is on your screen right now is a transmission speaking directly to what happens in the field once proper grounding is established. What becomes available in sleep state when the Earth star is finally locked. If you feel the pull toward it, do not override that impulse. The anchor you just set will hold everything you received here. What is waiting on that screen is the natural continuation of where this transmission has brought you. The portal from this session is still active. Click it now. Stay in the frequency. This is how the completion deepens.